If you were serious about fishing back in the early to mid 20th century, chances are you may have had one of these puppies right here. If you don't know what this is a Kennedy tackle box. This week in Angling Archaeology, we're gonna learn more about this iconic tackle box and why it's so important. Stick around. So when you hear the word Kennedy, what comes to mind? And no, I'm not talking about the political family here. What I'm talking about is these right here, these metal boxes. You probably think toolbox, or maybe even a metal cabinet, some kind of machinist cabinet, something like that. Well, back in the day, Kennedy actually made tackle boxes. They call them the Kennedy kits. They're really cool. So we're gonna learn the history of that right now. We're gonna do a little walkthrough of the history. Then I'm gonna take this outside in the sunlight so you can see a little bit better, and we'll show you what this looks like. And I'll tell you folks, this is a nice tackle box. Kennedy Manufacturing was founded in 1911 in Fort Wayne, Indiana by brothers Howard and Charles Kennedy, who created the first metal toolbox. A few years later, in 1914, Kennedy moved production to Van Wert, Ohio. Now backing up a bit to 1909, Howard Kennedy, who was an engineer for the Pennsylvania Railroad, noticed that the standard fabric cloth tool holder he was using was not protecting his gear sufficiently. Howard then designed and built a metal suitcase for himself, which was then requested by other railroad engineers. Howard's brother Charles, who is an advertising executive in Chicago, caught wind of the metal suitcase and discussed the potential for a new business. It was soon after in 1911 that the Kennedy Manufacturing Company was officially established. Now moving on to the tackle boxes, we see from the history on the company's website that the Kennedy kits were officially introduced in 1912. It was likely this time or soon after that the tackle boxes were officially introduced. Now, the earliest advertisements I've found for the Kennedy boxes are from 1923, as we can see here from this photo. And throughout the 1920s, we see a number of ads showcasing the quality of the Kennedy kits. Shown here in an ad from 1924 that shows two World War I veterans, or back then they would have called it the Great War, swapping fish stories and talking about the quality of the box, stating, "You'll be set for life with the finest tackle box made." Now, Kennedy had a wide variety of options to choose from. The one that we'll be exploring in this video is the stowaway. And what's unique about this box is the slide open drawers. Shown here in these ads from the 50s and 60s, the advertisement says it's a neat, fits under the seat, out of the way, all the time tackle box. Just slide open the drawers. Kennedy made their durable, built-for-life tackle boxes all the way until 1977. And as a matter of fact, Kennedy is still in business today, manufacturing premium tool storage products right here in the USA. And if it's the vintage tackle boxes you're after, not to worry, there are still a number of these on eBay today. All right, let's go ahead and take a little closer look at this box. You can see right away, just incredible looking quality, very cool box. This one's called the stowaway. And the reason it's called the stowaway is because of that kind of sleek, long design right here that you can maybe fit underneath your seat. And unlike other tackle boxes that would flip up, this one had a drawer system, which was very cool. Just a very unique feature that this one offered. And you can see right here the Kennedy name. See those on all the old school toolboxes. So I would guess this one's probably somewhere in the range from the 1950s to 70s is when this one was built. They don't, at least not that I've found, I don't see any date on here of when this was made, but the reason that leads me to believe this is from that time period is earlier ones from way back in the day would have had maybe like a leather handle right here. They're more squared off. You probably could have seen some actual like rivets or weld marks, and this has got a little bit more of a sleek design. And by sleek design, I mean like you just see the curvature right there, the plastic handle. So that's why I think it's probably from that time period. All right, let's go ahead and pull the first tray out here. And right here, you gotta notice this attention to detail right there. So this Kennedy right there on the handle, very nice. You got a locking storage. Whew. I mean, this is really well made. I love this. The storage compartments, a lot of space for activities there. I'll try to get my phone in here too so you can see the label a little bit better, but it says TC20AL. That's the serial number, or the style number, excuse me, on this. And so it says important notice, keep rubber-like or vinyl lures and baits in this lift-out tray, which is made of a special material impervious to any possible corrosive action from such lures. So there you go. So keep all that stuff in here, and it's going to protect the box and the lures. So very nice. Here's the bottom tray. And folks, this is the best part of all, and I cannot believe it. This right here. Keys. I've never seen one online. I've been looking online at these, been nerding out over these. I haven't seen any of these really that have keys. Most of them don't. And they've never even been out of the package. Fresh set of keys. You gotta love that. So that's the outside of it right there. I mean, just nice, solid material right there, in very good shape. I mean, it's got some dings, you know, whatever else. Probably could use a little bit of a cleanup right there. Get some of the dirt off. But a very fine example of a stowaway tackle box. Here's a little zoom into that logo right there. The Kennedy kits. And then here's a little zoom in of Kenny. There you have it. Kennedy kits. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this Kennedy kit history clip. And if you like this box, well, guess what, folks? I'm going to go ahead and put this on eBay for someone else to enjoy. I guarantee there's a collector out there that doesn't have the stowaway kit that needs it. And quite frankly, I've never seen one with keys, especially keys that are unused. This is a really nice box and would be incredible for someone's collection. So be on the lookout for that. If you haven't been to Angling Archaeology on eBay, I'll put the information right there. And then also down in the link below, go ahead and check that out. We also have a merchandise store if you want to check out some hats and shirts and things like that. But that's going to do it for this episode of Angling Archaeology, where we unearth the good old days. I want to thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out quite a bit. And until next time, folks, hey, we'll see you on the water or maybe down here in the basement looking at some other old stuff. But we'll see you around. Thanks for watching Angling Archaeology, where we unearth the good old days. Don't forget to like and subscribe.